Recording.
Okay. All right. Welcome, everyone. My name is Stephen Blaze-Juski. I'm the Vice President of Corporate Relations for the New Jersey LGBT Chamber of Commerce. We're very excited to have you all here today. We've got a jam-packed event, lots of information to come. And before I do that, I just want to introduce my fellow board members on the call, who are Joseph Renga, our President, and Stephen Garabell, our VP of Certification and Supplier Diversity. So I'm going to turn it over to Steve, who's going to do some intro remarks about the chamber. And then from there, Steve will introduce Kate Muldon, who will be moderating today's event. So Steve.
Thank you, Stephen, and everyone, welcome today. Thank you to all of our panelists for helping bring resources to our thriving LGBT business community. The LGBT business community in the US puts $1.7 trillion into the US economy every year. That is larger than some countries. So thank you all for participating. One of the things that we like to do at the Chamber is really connect members to each other, connect members to other organizations in the community, and connect members to technical assistance providers. By collaborating today on the call, we're able to bring resources to our members and help your organizations provide them with the technical assistance needed to grow and thrive in their business. One of the things that we do at the Chamber that makes us different is that we are a certifying body. We are an affiliate of the National LGBT Chamber of Commerce, the NJLCC. And what we do is certify LGBT-owned businesses to be 51% owned and operated. That helps access to supplier diversity programs through corporations, and some cities and states are taking this certification. In New Jersey, Hoboken, Jersey City, and Essex County do take the LGBT certification. New York City just announced a monumental MOU signing, and we are hoping that we can get the state of New Jersey on board to add our LGBT suppliers into corporate supplier diversity, government supplier diversity programs. So getting certified is a way to help build your business and a way to help use your authentic self to access contracts. We also work on education, webinars like this, workshops and forums. Networking is very important for the community, building our LGBT business community together and helping them uplift each other. We have corporate outreach where we work with corporations, ERGs, and procurement departments to help individuals gain contracts. We work on government outreach with policy and procurement opportunities, and also with student outreach, with internships and volunteer opportunities for students to network with LGBT business owners and professionals to help build their careers. Thank you all for joining us today, and I will turn it over to our moderator to get started. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Stephen. I have a question for you before you sign off. Is there a certification currently in the state of New Jersey that we can be helping clients apply for?
There is. So the LGBT Business Enterprise Certification is done through the NJLCC, our affiliate organization. It is the only organization that can certify LGBT-owned businesses. The process is the same process that WeBank came up with to certify women-owned businesses, and NMSDC uses, and Disability In uses. So we definitely, if you have LGBT entrepreneurs, please connect them with us and we can help show where they can get certified. If you're a member of the New Jersey LGBT Chamber, you get your certification for free. If not, there's a fee to pay to get certified with National. So take advantage of the resources of the Chamber and we can help get you certified. And we'd love to partner with your offices on ways to do that.
Great, thank you very much. Hi, everybody. My name is Kate Muldoon, and I'm going to be serving as the moderator today. Thank you, Anthony, for asking me to participate. I'm representing the Small Business Development Centers, and I am currently the director at the William Patterson Small Business Development Center. We are located up in Passaic County. I have an office in Wayne and in Patterson. And we work very closely with the city organizations and the county organizations. The small business development centers are grant funded. Our primary funder is the Small Business Administration, the state of New Jersey through the Business Action Center. In my case, as a host, William Patterson University, and then the county and local banks and people who want to give us grants to work on particular projects. There are 12 centers throughout the state, so there is access for all of you to be able to work with an SBDC. We do counseling, one-on-one counseling, training, workshops with our partners. And the one thing that you're going to hear throughout this event is that you may be a little confused because it sounds like there are overlapping programs that sound like they could have fit somewhere else. We all work together and we refer to each other. So if you have the opportunity to work with someone else that you're hearing, but then I may have a service that fits your need, or the SBDC may have a service, it's okay. You may reach out to more than one player, because collaborate was the word that Stephen had just mentioned. We all collaborate together and we work together. So when somebody comes to the SBDC, they're usually in one of three areas. They're usually pre-venture, startups, or established businesses. And we don't do the same thing for each area. Pre-venture will work with a business owner and say, like, are you an entrepreneur? Do you really have what it takes? If you want to start a business because you hate your boss, that is definitely not something that's going to show me that you're really motivated to be a business owner. We talk about business startup, what it really takes. And one of the things that we must cover with everybody is credit and credit repair, because somebody may want to come in and start a business, but they don't have the credit, or they may have co-signed on a car loan for somebody years ago that's impacted their credit. So we are working with credit repair also. Then when we get into the people who are starting a business, we're talking about working on business plans and marketing plans and starting to work on research, because when you do a marketing plan or a business plan, you're talking in the plan about your competitors also. So we help them do research to see who the competition is. We help them analyze financial statements, and we talk about technical assistance we may be able to provide with their financials. We also are helping people when we're talking about procurement opportunities, getting them be certified as a women or minority owned business. And that was why I asked Stephen for some more information about the certification for their businesses. And then with established businesses, we are really talking about cash flow, managing cash flow, hiring the right kind of help, and planning for capital and other inventory, disaster preparedness. So as you could see, from pre-venture to startup to established, there are different items that we really need to cover with businesses. And people will come into us and ask generic questions, and then we try to work with them to see exactly what it is that they're needing. So that's a little bit about the SBDC. I have been there for 15 years after an extensive banking career. So I just felt this was a great fit for me, and I love working with businesses, and so does everybody else at the SBDC networks. So let me pass this off now. Maybe we could close down the screen. There we go. All right, now I'm going to pass it off to Deb Hoffman, Deb is the Passaic County Economic Development Director, and she's going to talk about what people in her categories do throughout the state. Deb?
Thank you, Kate, very much. Good afternoon, everyone. As Kate says, I'm the Director of Economic Development for Passaic County. I don't think I need my, this is just what we do to attract and retain companies in Passaic County. You can just look it over afterwards. I'm going to just talk about our basic approach. Our division, thank you, assists companies in relocating and expanding in the county. That was some of our tools and techniques. And frankly, I work with a ton of everyone here participating in this event this afternoon. It's really kind of thrilling to see everyone after a year and a half of hiding out. But we focus on trying to find a real estate for someone. Let's say they call me and they need industrial space, retail space, office space. We make introductions to real estate brokers. I can give them CoStar listings. And frankly, I've done tours as well, and really kind of hold somebody's hand to find a location. Sometimes companies need financing, so we will help them package their loan. Some companies are able to do it themselves. We at least tell them what needs to be in that loan package. We've done over $165 million in loans so far, and we make introductions to banks. We always give at least 3. I suggest you shop 3 to 5 banks so you feel confident you've gotten a real look at your loan package and that you understand, what kind of terms and conditions really should be applying to your situation. We work closely with Kate Muldoon from the SBDC. I have to say she's really very, very close partner in everything we do, because sometimes, when you're deciding, oh, I need money, you really need a business plan to decide how much money you really need. Right? It shouldn't just be, just give me whatever I can get. No, you really, I get those, I have gotten those, to say, she's laughing because we've done it, we've all had that. It really depends on where your company is and where you're planned to go. And really remember, everything is cash flow and collateral. That's the buzzwords. Uncle Harry wants to know how he's getting paid back when you borrow money from Uncle Harry, or M&T Bank, or Bank of America, or Columbia Bank, or whoever else you're borrowing from. I have to say that we do recommend both New Jersey Economic Development Authority products as well as the SBA. The SBA is very, very active, and you'll hear from Claudia a little later. We love their 504 loan products. They're phenomenal. We work with UC-EDC very often as well. They have some great microloans and other products that they offer. So the key really is we try to know who is lending, who can we rely on to help the company expand, and just try to put them in the spot that they want to be in, where, what makes it best for them. And we've worked with very large companies, 400 people, employee companies, and 3. So it's really very, very much, has people call us. We are often run seminars with Kate. She's my main sponsor, co-sponsor, and we do about 3 to 5 a year. 2020 was a little tougher, I have to admit. Our next webinar, virtual seminar, is going to be on the 23rd on trade shows and trade missions. The New Jersey Business Action Center is going to be speaking. I talk about the NJ STEP program, which is a grant to help you pay for part of your trade show expenses. And we also have somebody coming in from international trade from the U.S. Department of Commerce. So we're really excited. If you're interested, just put my contact information in the chat. So you could just email me and say, oh, I'd like to participate. It's all free, of course. Our next, that's June 23rd, September 22nd, we're going to be sponsoring a cybersecurity conference and how to protect your company and what you can anticipate and how to secure insurance. How do you make your company ready to get cyber insurance? So we're going to be dealing with that on the 22nd of September. In addition, we're working with the New Jersey Business Action Center to address the ban the bag legislation. Maybe Don will mention that later. And that's going to be on September 13th at 9 a.m. You'll let us know if you have an interest. Remember, the state is banning carry-out plastic bags, and somebody's going to have to comply with this. So it's important that everyone knows about it. Obviously, during COVID, it was a little bit different experience, even for our division. So we were really kind of in the forefront. We started a blast email, breaking news for the business community. I've done over 125 of them, I think, so far, just to brief people on our constant contact list. And we add people every day. Feel free to let me know and I'll add you. And we brief them on whatever programs are out there to assist the business community. This is really our goal, to make sure you're knowledgeable and that you survive this. And so we would blast email that. The county sponsored 2 grant programs. We pledged $10 million, and we worked with the New Jersey Economic Development Authority. I think it was during phase 2 of their grant program, and also the New Jersey Redevelopment Agency to provide funding for people who had problems paying paying their rent. And so we also participated in that. I think we gave away $5 million, $6 million in total. We continue to do that, and we're actively promote the New Jersey EDA products, the SBA products. Of course, they have a restaurant program, the EIDL loan, PPP, anything and everything that we could find to assist the business community. We threw out there and tried to get people to take advantage of it. What we've also done now, we're just about to debut a business survey. Every year we pretty much did one. I didn't do it in 2020. I was kind of afraid what I would hear. So we're going to do it now. Hopefully the first 6 months of 2021 has, had a little bit of an uptick in business activity. And we are going to throw that out into the public probably the end of this week. And you can also respond to it virtually. We have it online at Go. I think it's Go survey. I have the link, and we have a QR code. We're very, very snazzy, and we're hopeful that we'll have some results by the end of August. I want to get a sense of where we are at the moment. As of April, our unemployment rate was 9.4. Prior to the pandemic, it was 4.3%. So we have a long way to go. But we're really, really trying hard. And I have to say, I've gotten calls from many, many companies. They're all looking for employees. Accurate Box needs 28 people. Call today. And I have many others that are looking for employees. So it's I think that business activity is in the uptick, but I think that we really need to work together on this. So I think that's a good way to stop. I do want to give a shout out to Rossa Evans, who's participating. She's one of my Passaic County companies, and we work very closely on 2 different grant programs. She's very dynamic and an excellent real estate broker. So in case anyone needs anything, but it's an example of how we try to be responsive to our business community. You have somebody to call. And honestly, sometimes I get calls you're in another location, you're in another county. We'll make a recommendation to the county official that can help you, whether it's in Hudson County, Bergen County, Union County, wherever, or we'll just try to give you the best suggestions we can. So please consider Passaic County if you're thinking of expanding or relocating your company. And my number is in the chat room. My email's in the chat room. Please contact me at any time. Thank you, Kate.
Thank you, Deb.
Thanks.
You brought up some interesting points, and one of the things I wanted to tell the group is you're going to hear about programs that are being offered. Right now, I would say 90% of them are being offered virtually. So it doesn't matter where you are in the state, you won't have to drive, and you should be able to take advantage of the programs that are going on anywhere throughout the state right now. So that brings us to our next business partner, who is Don Newman, the Director of Small Business Advocacy with the New Jersey Business Action Center. Don? I saw his face before on the.
He was here, so why don't we move on to the next speaker and then we can come back to Don.
Okay. The next speaker is Claudia Yarborough. Claudia is with the Small Business Administration as a lender relations specialist. Claudia?
Okay.
Hi.
Hi, thank you, Kate.
You're
Welcome, everyone. The U.S. Small Business Administration is an agency of the federal government that support America's small businesses by connecting entrepreneurs with resources to assist them to plan, launch, manage, and grow their businesses. Our SBA office is located in the great city of Newark, New Jersey. My colleagues and resource partners cover all 21 counties to share valuable information to all communities. Okay. SBA focus is providing counseling, capital, contracting assistance. Our disaster office, as you see at the bottom, is separate. And the disaster office provides aid in times of presidential declared disasters. Funding right now is still available for our economic injury disaster loan, known as EIDL, and the loan must be repaid. Funding is available through December 31st of this year, and they can be used to meet your financial obligations and operating expenses. Okay, in growing your business, SBA is the resource agency that truly assists in powering your dream into a reality. Favorable outreach, which furthers your success through our programs. Counseling and training. SBA provides counseling via our local resource partners. And in addition, you can go to our New Jersey website, which we have an SBA Learning Center with a lot of valuable courses to help you start or grow your business. The SBA helps small businesses with free, low-cost business counseling, as Kate stated earlier. Kate is one of our partner organizations known as the SBDC. In addition to Kate, we have the Women Business Center, we have SCORE, and we have a Veteran Business Outreach Center. All of them provide a service. Some of the services may be provided by each, but there is a service that could benefit you. So if you're in need of counseling or training, I would reach out to them. Regardless of the stage of your business, counseling and training is very important. Capital. Capital is all about the money. And as Deb and Kate stated, money is very important. Please note the U.S. Small Business Administration is not a financial institution. We provide guaranteed loans to those small business owners and entrepreneurs who cannot get traditional funding. The SBA guarantees loans made by lending institutions to small businesses that would not otherwise be able to obtain financing. Grants. Grants is the $1 million question. Everybody is in need of a grant, but I would just visit the site. If I provided technical assistance to someone, I would visit grants.gov. I do not know of any grants to start or grow your business, but if you are a nonprofit or other entity that currently provides technical assistance to the community, there is a grant option right now on grants.gov for a community navigator. I would look into it and apply just to see if I'm selected to help my community to take advantage of all opportunities that are available. Next slide. Okay, this is the SBA use of proceeds for the majority of our loan products. And we have many loan products, which was stated earlier. So the loan products fit many needs for your business. And as you can see, this is a listing of our use of proceeds. Working capital, as stated earlier, and lines of credit can be a useful tool for cash flow during these trying times. Next slide. The SBA loan programs. In assessing these lending products, the borrower must visit a participating lender. The lender processes and funds the loan. When one applies for an SBA loan, there's normally a guarantee fee depending on the loan amount. As you can see, a loan of $150,000 and below, there's a guarantee fee of 2%. But currently, due to our economic aid, the guarantee fee will not be charged to you through September 30th of this year. Next slide. In any of an SBA loan, there is a prepayment penalty for loans with a maturity of 15 years or longer. The borrower must pay a subsidy to the SBA, which is a subsidy recoupment fee. It depends on the term of the loans. From year 1, the fee is 5%, year 2 is 3%, and year 3, the fee is 1%. SBA charges this fee when you use our loan product. That is if the loan, okay, if you are an exporter, SBA, we have export loans for those that are seasoned exporters. We have not forgotten you. The majority of our loans are for those that are starting or growing a business, but those that are seasoned can take advantage of our exporting products. The current exporting product is international trade, export working capital, and export express. If you are upgrading your global facility, a transaction purchase order, or even expanding your export market, exporting is for you. Our 7A loan program, this is our flagship loan product, and it has been around for a multitude of years. The lending limit is $5 million. And guess what? Startup businesses are eligible for our 7A loan product. An SBA Express loan product. This is another product that can be used for a line of credit. Currently, 10 years. Right now, the loan amount is $1 million, and that amount will be lowered as of October 1st to $500,000. Next slide. This is the microloan product, and we have two of our CDFIs on the call today, UCEDC and RBAC and GNEC. They did have a microloan program, but they will elaborate more on this loan product, but the lending limit is $50,000 and it can be used for working capital. It cannot be used to purchase real estate. Another flagship program, which was mentioned earlier, is the SBA's 504 loan product. This is for the acquisition of commercial real estate. You being the, let's say, the lending party, you would work with a certified development company. You can inject at least 10% of your own monies into purchasing a commercial real estate. But if you are a startup business, your injection will be more than 10%. So it's a 50, 40, 10 commercial real estate. You can purchase commercial real estate, occupy it, and the terms, depending on the loan, it could be a 20 or 25-year loan. And the interest rate is below 3%. Next slide. You can go to the next slide.
Claudia.
Just
one more minute.
Okay, go on to the next slide because Omar, and I want to go to the one that states lender match. This is for those individuals that are seeking a SBA participating lender. Lender match is very good for you. You would enter your information, and if a lender is interested, they will reach out and connect with you. We at SBA, we cannot force a lender to lend to you, but a lender may reach out if you enter your information into lender match. Another program, which is very big, is our government contracting program. It's a self-marketing program for those that are interested in government contracting. And if you're new to government contracting, I would reach out to the PTAC. They can assist you in learning everything you need to know about government contracting. If you are a seasoned contractor, I would reach out to SBA. We have a business opportunity specialist that can assist you. Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Claudia.
You're
Great
welcome.
information
It was a little
there.
long.
I understand Don Newman is finally back with us
Back.
after having some technical problems.
Yes.
And Don is the Director of Small Business Advocacy for the Business Action Center in New Jersey. Don?
Thank you very much. And thanks for the opportunity to speak to you. I've been trying to actually, over the years, I've always wanted to make a stronger connection with this chamber. So I'm happy to have the opportunity. I am having, obviously, internet issues, an unstable internet connection. So I am also called in on the phone. So if you lose me again, I will pick up the cell phone and just continue on from there. So I'm with the Business Action Center. We're part of the Secretary of State's office. And if you can go to the next slide, please. What we do is, there you go. So we have basically 3 offices within the Business Action Center that interact with business community. Our Office of Business Advocacy, which they work on projects, is the best way for me to describe them. So if you're looking to expand a building, find a new location, we can work with you on helping you navigate the regulatory process, the DEP, the Department of Environmental Protection. Sorry, we're talking acronyms in state government. Or the Department of Transportation, or any of the other regulatory agencies that you may run into at the state level, but also maybe the local planning boards. We can help you sort of navigate that entire process through our Office of Business Advocacy. So those kinds of projects they take on. Deb was very nice to mention the Office of Export Promotion and the STEP grant. I sometimes overemphasize export promotion and STEP because I get excited because we do have a grant program. It's one of the few times we actually give out money. And Deb mentioned that we do have a program that allows us to pay for the registration fees for you to go to a trade show or on a trade mission. So if you're a food industry and you're in the food industry and you want to go to the fancy food show in New York, we'll pay that registration fee so you can have a table at that event. Or if you want to go to Belgium to a trade event, we may be able to pay those registration fees. But we also can help you develop plans for becoming an exporter, find markets, and so on. I manage the Small Business Advocacy Unit. What we do is we provide those unique services that a small business needs. One of the ways we do that is by connecting you to other agencies, other organizations. So when you have an issue with a license from the Department of Consumer Affairs, or you have a question about treasury, or you're just trying to figure out how to register a business, how to get it registered for the first time, we can make those connections for you, help you with that process. And if you go to the next slide, we can, help you get counseling services. We can identify your needs for financing and make sure you get to, whether it be the SBA, the Economic Development Authority, which is the state version of the SBA, a CDFI or a local bank. We can help you navigate the safety standards that you had to follow now because of COVID. Now, a lot of those are coming off, so that'll be less and less. But there are still some standards that have to be followed, especially for office space and non-public spaces where your non-vaccinated employees still have to wear masks. We can talk about the employee benefits. We now have an earned sick leave law. There are some other employer responsibilities that we can help you do that. And then the licensing. I already mentioned before, consumer affairs rather, there's a lot of licenses that operate. Do you need a license? Most businesses do not need any kind of a quote unquote license. They need to be registered and so on, but we can help you navigate all of that. If you can go to the next slide. But then we also connect you with many of the people on this call, the mentoring assistance programs. Kate, I think, mentioned that we're one of the financing partners for the Small Business Development Center. So we provide them with those funds so that they can provide you with the mentoring and counseling services. And then the financial resources we've already discussed, and the licensing issues that that I mentioned earlier. Next slide. So again, navigating regulatory process, labor and workforce issues, procurement. Stephen mentioned the certifications for the LGBT-owned businesses. But there are also some state certifications that my office can help you with. Women-owned business, minority-owned business, small business enterprise. That's an important one, small business enterprises. Whether or not you want to be a veteran-owned business, or you qualify as a veteran-owned business, or do you qualify as a service-disabled veteran-owned business, which again, some of these can give you advantages for state contracts. Some of them can give you advantages for private sector contracting, others for county and municipal contracting. So we can help you with all of those certifications and make some connections with you for Division of Purchase and Property, or the Division of Property Management and Construction at the state, and other opportunities for doing business, or the educational service commissions that help provide products to goods and services to local school districts and municipalities. There's a lot of information about government procurement that we can assist you with. Okay. Next slide. Deb mentioned ban the bag, and that's going to be an important difference in the way businesses are going to be operating next year. We've been charged in the legislation to become the educators for that program, so that we can teach businesses what their responsibilities are going to be. It takes effect May 4th, 2022. what it bans single-use plastic carry-out bags. All those bags you used to, you get when you go to the supermarket are now going to be banned. And for except for smaller grocery stores, it's also going to ban single-use paper bags. So you need, and also styrofoam or polystyrene. Styrofoam is a brand name. Those kinds of foam food products. So if you have a restaurant and you're doing takeout, you won't be able to use styrofoam carry-out containers anymore. So why are we talking about it now since it doesn't take effect May 4th? Well, two reasons. One, we want business owners to deplete their inventory so that on May 4th, you don't have a bunch of product in your store that you can't use. And two, we want you to develop those supply chain resources so that you can get the products that you will need moving forward. There's, if you can just go to the next slide. All right, so there's some information here which I'm not going to go over that you'll have in these slides. But what constitutes a permitted reusable bag, and you may not necessarily provide this to your customer. You may sell it to your customer, and because it's reusable, your customers will be coming back in with these bags. And there are some on this slide, some information about what those acceptable bags will be. We are still waiting on the Department of Environmental Protection to approve alternatives to the polystyrene. So we don't have that information yet, but that will be coming probably at the end of the summer. So we'll be able to tell you what products you will be able to use in place of styrofoam. Any next slide? These are examples of the reusable bag types that are permitted to be used. And again, I'm not going to go over these, but you'll have these on this slide presentation. So, and I was very quick because I wanted to respect my 10-minute limit, but I also wanted to make sure my internet didn't go down. So that's why so forgive me for talking so fast during this. But this slide is where I really wanted to tell you about how to contact us and some of the websites that you should be aware of. So the business action website is listed there, nj.gov/states.bac. One of the things I want to mention there is we just completed a 6-part webinar series on technical assistance training, on financial assistance, on procurement, on non-traditional resources like the library, where you can get some help for nonprofits, and also one exclusively with the Department of Labor to talk about what your obligations are to your employees and workforce training programs and so on. Those are now up on that site. So you can go back and you can look at those webinars at your leisure. Each of them are about an hour. I think one ran a little longer than an hour, but they're each about an hour. You can always reach out to us through our business helpline, 1-800-JERSEY-7. That's been around for a couple of years, but I do want to emphasize something that's new, and that is business.nj.gov. That is a new website that replaces the old business portal, which some of you may remember, but it is a website that is much more condensed than the old portal, but is constantly being updated, including a section on COVID-19 issues, like the Small Business Emergency Assistance Grant Program Phase 4, which is having pre-registration right now, can be between $10,000 and $20,000 in a grant issued by the EDA. That pre-registration runs until the end of the month, and then you will actually, for those people that have pre-registered, then they will be invited to make an actual application for their grant. So that's one program that's open now that you can go into. There's a lot of other programs that we anticipate coming because of the American Recovery Act, as well as some other state programs that are coming forward. So I recommend that you go onto that site, that you sign up for the newsletter, either on the pop-up that will come up when the site starts, or by hitting updates on the top navigation area and submitting your email so that you get regular updates, as well as monitoring the site. Each article that is on the COVID portion of that site, and you won't miss it, it's business.nj.gov/COVID, but there's also a tab on the navigation area on the page, are updated regularly, and they're dated so that if you see an article that you read 2 months ago, chances are it's been updated multiple times and you'll see the date of the last update. So it's important to continue to monitor those sites on the subject areas that you have an interest in. But the star of this site is a live chat. You can use a live chat feature in the bottom right-hand corner, the little icon, to ask a question to the Business Action Center. Since March of last year, when COVID really hit, we have answered over 73,000 questions on that site. Our staff is well trained to provide you with information on a variety of business topics, but we also have added taxation to that site so that if you have a question that requires a taxation staff to look up your tax records, for example, which are confidential, so I can't look at them, I can transfer that call to taxation so that they can respond to your question. And we have recently, over in the last couple of weeks, added employer accounts over in the Department of Labor. So if you have a question about withholding taxes for your employees, or you have a question about a audit that you may have had from the Department of Labor, we can then refer your question directly to the Department of Labor. And we are actively pursuing other agencies. Oh, I'm sorry, I almost forgot. EDA is also on that. And we're actively pursuing people to join that's other agencies so we can answer that. So that's really what I have to offer to you is that, let us connect you to the organizations that are available. My contact information is on the bottom there. I don't have a phone number on there, but I'll give it to you real quick. And I'll put it in the chat, 609-984-9834. All right. So thank you very much for the opportunity. And I will be available for Q&A later.
Thank you very much, Don. And I will say to the group on this call, if you have not been on the site for the state of New Jersey, the Business Action Center, it is filled with incredible information. When Don gave the helpline to call, people pick up within 2 rings. You never see that in the state because every time we say, oh, well, let's call, people look at me like, you're really not going to try to get in touch with somebody in the state. But it works, and there is a ton of information there. So thank you, Don. Okay, next up we have Anthony Martinez, Senior Small Business Liaison for the New Jersey Economic Development Authority.
Hello, folks. How are you? My name is Anthony Martinez, and I'm the NJEDA Senior Small Business Liaison Officer. And what I do in that capacity is I conduct outreach, network, promote EDA's loan products, incentives, and small business services. I provide direct services and act as a source of referral. And when I was asked to assemble this distinguished panel, I put my old SBDC consultant thinking cap on, and I thought, okay, what do small businesses need? Well, they need money, and they need help to get the money. So hence the reason for me assembling this distinguished panel. Can we go to also let me tell you a little bit about the EDA. So the EDA is the state lender, and we are the economic engine for this state. And our mission is to attract businesses to the state that create jobs. Okay, next slide, please. Right there, here we go. We're gonna start with this program. I'm just gonna talk about a little bit about a few of our loan products and programs that we have to offer, because some of them, and for example, this one is subject to change. It's gonna change in the very near future. Some of these programs are being revamped, and there'll be more programs coming through soon. They're going to board to be approved, and I would say probably September, early fall, there'll be new programs. And I strongly urge, suggest, and recommend that you all follow us on social media for awareness of our programs, and that you check our website periodically, sign up for our newsletter for, again, for awareness of these programs. So what the Small Business Lease Assistance Program is, it's a reimbursement program. And we'll reimburse 15% of a lease the first 2 years of a 5-year term lease. All right, so it's got to be a new lease for new space, and we'll incentivize anywhere from 500 to 5,000 square feet of new or additional first floor market rate industrial or retail space. Okay, and it's only right now, it's only eligible in those targeted cities that you see there: Atlantic City, Camden, Passaic, Patterson, Trenton, Salem, Millville, Bridgeton, Plainfield, Phillipsburg, Jersey City. Am I missing any? And that be it. Okay, but again, this is subject to change, this one program in particular. Okay, next slide, please. All right, we have a CDFI loan to lender program. We loan some of the CDFIs, that most of them that are on the call today, we loan them money to loan small businesses such as yourself money. And the CDFI micro lenders, again, they loan anywhere from $1,000 to $50,000. Okay, next slide, please. New Jersey Ignite. We provide rent support to early stage technology and life science companies that are in co-share workspaces. All right, they can get up to $250,000 annually. It covers 2, 4, 6 months rent. You can receive additional support if you're in an opportunity zone, which is an economically distressed area, most urban areas, and if you're affiliated with a hospital or university. And also it says first U.S. presence for a foreign company expanding into the country, and if you're women or minority owned. Okay, so again, this is rent support for businesses in co-share workspaces or incubators. All right, next slide, please. We have our Small Business Bonding Readiness Assistance Program. The EDA has partnered with the African American Chamber of Commerce and JSSB Consulting. All right, this is for you contractors out there and general contractors and subcontractors looking to do government contracting. This is classroom training in these areas that you see there. And you can, they assist you with the bonding and insurance so that you can bid on government contracts. And you come out of the program with that. It's a very good program. It's free. This is a free program. For anyone interested in that, please contact me and I will put you in touch with the folks at the African American Chamber of Commerce that can assist you with this, okay? Next slide, please. We have our Premier Lender Program. We do loan participations, loan guarantees, and lines of credits we have 26 Premier Lenders that we've partnered with to do this. And we'll loan up to $2 million for fixed assets, $750,000 for working capital, and lines of credit guarantees up to $750,000. You must be in operation for at least 2 full years, and you got to commit to creating one full-time job for every $65,000 of EDA exposure within 2 years. There's a 1-to-1 debt service coverage ratio for businesses and a 1.0 debt service coverage ratio for nonprofits. 100% loan to value for real estate and 90% for equipment. And the benefits, it's low cost financing. Again, I discussed loan participations, loan guarantees, and lines of credit. And again, financing can be used for fixed assets or working capital. Next slide, please. And these are the list of the premier lenders that we've partnered with to do these loan participations, loan guarantees, and lines of credit. Most of them are the major banks. Next, I want to introduce Maribel Fermin, who she's going to talk to you all a little bit about our Phase 4 grant and pre-registration for that, and our Small Business Emergency Assistance Loan Program. Maribel?
Gracias, Tony. Thank you. It's a pleasure to be here. So thank you for extending an invitation. As Mr. Newman mentioned, we are still on grants Phase 4. So if you have not already pre-registered, Pre-registration is in effect until June 30th at 5 p.m. Again, these grants can benefit your business with up to $20,000. So I strongly encourage you to pre-register right now. So basically, once you do your pre-registration, you will receive an email with confirmation and giving you the gratitude. Thank you for applying. You will also see a MOLA, M-O-L-A number. That's your application, so that you can go back into the portal, and it's going to be either July 7th or July 8th, according to your business industry sector and the size of your business. So let's say if you are a restaurant with up to 50 full-time equivalent employees, you are a child care provider at home or a child care center, then you will go on July the 7th and complete your application as well. If you are a micro business with 6 to 50 full-time equivalent employees, you will also go back into the portal and apply on July 7th. Again, for the micro business with 1 to 50 full-time equivalent employee, you will go back and apply on July 8th. And the grants for a micro business is going to be up to $10,000. So again, very important, grant money is money you don't pay back to the state. So don't miss this amazing opportunity. You may have 0 employee because you're a sole proprietorship and you are the only person who takes care of your business, so you can apply. You might be a not-for-profit organization and you will also be able to apply. Your application for not-for-profit will be on July 7th once again. So again, we save the best for last, and it's the NJEDA Emergency Assistance Loan Program, Phase 2. With Phase 1, we dedicated $10 million, and this round 2, Phase 2, is going to be also $10 million that we dedicated. And this loan will provide up to $10,000 to support your business with working capital. So again, be ready for the pre-registration coming up in July. We don't have a set day. So as Mr. Newman mentioned, you go into cv.business.nj.gov, the state website, and you will click on COVID. Or you can do cv.business.nj.gov/COVID, and you can right now go into this portal and you can review these specifications for the emergency loan program Phase 2. So basically, we'll provide up to $100,000 again to support your business with working capital. The term will be 10 years. The interest rate is 0%. And deferred payments for up to 24 months. So that is fantastic. So qualifications, the business must be registered to do business in New Jersey by the date the application launches. The business must be legitimately registered with your credentials to do business in New Jersey, and must be in good standing with Department of Labor, taxation. You must not exceed $10 million in revenue. So once again, keep an eye on pre-registration for the Emergency Assistance Loan Program Phase 2, which is going to be launching pre-registration very soon. If you have any questions, you can contact Anthony Martinez or myself. Our contact information is in the chat box. Thank you.
Right. Al Alvarez, are you here?
I am here, thank you.
Okay, great to see you, Al.
Same here, Kate. We
Al
have-
is the Director of Programs for the Greater Newark Enterprise Corporation. Has become a great partner of the SBDCs, and we appreciate everything that you do. So Al, tell us a little bit about your programs.
Okay, great. I know that we have 10 minutes, so I'll try to pace myself and go through. Please give me the hook, Kate, if I start to go over. Again, I'd like to thank everybody from the NJ LGBT Chamber of Commerce, Anthony, and everybody else that's here for giving me this opportunity to give some information about who we are. Next slide, please. A little bit of background. GNEC was founded in 2005. We are a nonprofit. You've heard the term CDFI, and that's a Community Developmental Financial Institute. Basically, what that means is that we ourselves, we are a lender, and we do borrow money from the U.S. Treasury Department. That gives us the opportunity to lend the money, and also gives us the opportunity to serve underserved communities. That sounds redundant, but that's what we do. We concentrate our efforts in the counties listed: Essex, Hudson, Passaic, Bergen, Middlesex, Union, and Monmouth County. As of earlier this week, we're also going to cover the rest of the state, but we're going to concentrate on the counties that I just mentioned. Again, we provide financing to small businesses for growth and development, and we also provide technical assistance. Now, that's an operative word. Technical assistance has different meanings for different people, but our approach to technical assistance, or so-called TA, is that one size doesn't fit all. If one of our clients is asking for technical assistance, we do an interview, we try to understand where they are, and if we don't have the resources in-house, we go out and find some. We work with the Business Action Center, we work with other folks that might be able to provide the client the assistance they need. Next slide, please. This is just a quick listing of the lending programs that we have. Key takeaways would be the DreamMaker loan. That's a program that we started earlier last year. That's a loan up to $5,000. It's a lot easier to get one of those loans, I'll be honest with you, because as an underwriting company enterprise, if a loan is above $10,000, we have other criteria. It has to go through internal or external loan committees and the board, et cetera. So DreamMaker loan is a great product. We've seen it take off. And another great product is a credit builder loan. That's, as the term implies, is to help individuals and small business owners build their credit. We have to be careful and not use the term fix or repair the credit. Is to build the credit. We obtain the credit report, we monitor it, and that's a 12-month term loan, and it's intended to help individuals to build their credit. We do have EOC, Entrepreneurs of Color fundings. We help that as well and provide that. And also we have the Social Enterprise Fund. So if you're interested in any of those products, I put my information and it's at the end of this presentation, so you can reach out to me and I'd be glad to support you on that. Next slide, please. This is, again, just a recap of the areas that we cover. Next slide, please. Some of these are just basic statistics. I won't go into the details, but this will give you an idea more or less of who we have helped in the past, and we'll try to expand on this effort. Next slide. I'll let you read this yourselves, but again, it just gives a basic explanation of the EOC programs. Next slide. Okay, one of the key things that we have done, believe it or not, COVID was good to us in a sense, because we did receive a lot of inquiries, individuals, businesses that were hurting. We have been able to assist them. Although we are not an SBA lender per se, we do have a partner agency, which is the Business Outreach Center in New York City, who is an SBA lender. So if we receive inquiries, for example, for a PPP, we would refer them to our partner agency in New York City, and they would assist the person going forward. A key takeaway of this is, for example, because of COVID, a lot of businesses have had to pivot. That means basically moving away from the traditional business model, going to another type of model. This is in particular the fast food industry, because they basically many of them have had to switch from in-house eating and sit downs to delivery or pickup only. And that's, believe it or not, probably a lot of these businesses are going to maintain that model because it's economically feasible. And some of the terms that you may hear would be the ghost kitchens that are out there. That's another term where folks may be using a commercial kitchen And their business model says we deliver that business or the product. Next slide. This is a basic listing of partners that we work closely with. Again, these are very helpful partners. Rising Tide Capital is important, and the others listed. For example, St. Peter's College, we're going to have a summer boot camp for high school and first year college students to help them understand businesses, how to start them, etc. So those are just a few examples. Next slide. These are again some of the relationships, and as a nonprofit, we are supported by banks and foundations. And these are some basic lists of some of the folks who support us. Next slide. What is the, again, I wanted to rush through the initial, but get into some of the nuts and bolts of what we suggest you do. We do collect the data indicated below on this slide. Next slide. This is one of the things I always show this slide because, and I direct your attention to myth number 5, where people may ask, well, because of the environment now, nobody is lending anymore. Well, that's not exactly the case because of COVID and other situations going on. There's money out there. I would encourage any small business owner needing capital, whether it's a startup or an existing business, to seek us out, and we'll provide the details to you. And if we can't help you because the loan may be above our current limit of maybe up to $60,000, we can direct you and partner with some other community partner who we could do a loan participation loan. And we might be able to go up to $2 million. Who knows what, it all depends on what your need is. Next slide. Some of these, this is another slide that you may be pay attention to. We have, as you may know, different layers of financing for a business. So one would be debt financing. Another one would be equity financing, and then bootstrapping. But some of the things that we always encourage is that you might want to think, if it's not bootstrapping, you might want to consider debt financing. Why do we say that? Because if you go to equity financing or others, with a debt financing, once you pay the loan off, you are done with that loan, and you can go to a bank. So what we always try to say is that if you start out with us, our goal is ultimately for you for your business to be at a level where you might be able to go to a traditional bank and get a better interest rate in terms of your loan. Our loans generally start at 8%, could go up to 12% with a 36-month. Baseline might be 9% loan for 36 months. Certainly, if and as you folks may know, if you're starting a business and you have not been in business for 2 years or more, the traditional banks may not help you. So again, we are a non-traditional lender. We do help new businesses, startups, so-called startups, and obviously existing businesses that want to expand. Next slide, please. What are key takeaways? I believe it was Deborah that mentioned, and when she said it, I thought she was going to steal my thunder, but one of the things that you should never, ever ask a lender, because that could be a trick question, is, well, if I, for example, asked you, well, how much money do you need? Please don't say, well, how much can you give me? Because that's a red flag. That means that to us, that you're probably not ready to move forward. You may not have a business plan. You haven't done your cash flow projections. So please, if you approach a lender, be very specific in terms of the amount of money that you need. Next slide, please. What are some of the things that lenders look for? We always, you see a lot of items listed here, but we encapsulate it into, we look at credit, we look at collateral, and we look at the capacity. Collateral is an important item because that's what lenders would be looking for. We, for example, currently, if you're looking for a loan that's under $10,000, we do not require collateral, but we do look at collateral above the amount of $10,000. Some of our Folks that are on this call today, for example, similar CDFIs as ourselves, their limit might be 15,000. I don't want to steal anybody's thunder here, but so for example, if you have a need of $25,000 loan, we might be able to provide, and you don't have collateral, we might be able to provide 10,000, and then we reach out to our partner. They could go up to 15. So potentially you might have your $25,000 loan without a requirement for collateral, but certainly you need the capacity and you certainly need the credit. Next slide, please. Other things that lenders and funders are looking for is listed here. But remember that this is a loan. We do not provide grants. So we look at the risk management. We have to protect our portfolio. And remember, we borrow funds ourselves. So we have due diligence that we have to perform. So it's all about risk management. That's why we look at the credit. Next slide, please. What should you expect in the process? As it says here, expect to hear no, but be prepared when you hear yes. Listen and learn to create opportunity. Always ask questions, questions, and questions. It's not going to be a marathon. It's not a marathon. And I should say it's a marathon. It's not a sprint. And dive deep into the closet. Expect to reveal everything. Nothing is off limits when it comes to uncovering financial and operational capacity. Next slide, please. What are you going to bring to the table? Well, you're going to have to bring a business plan. As I always say, if you've been in business for 5 years or more, it doesn't have to be a 30-page business plan. But if you are a startup and starting your idea, we're going to ask for more in terms of a business plan. You need to have cash flow analysis. That's an important item. And so many other things listed here, which is very important. So if you have not taken a business planning class, I encourage you to reach out to the small SBDC, Claudia, also the SBA, as I said, Claudia, and also Kate Muldoon. And also, since we're located in Newark, the Rutgers SBDC is great. Also, I mentioned Rising Tide Capital. They provide great opportunity for business planning. And you'll learn all about everything that's listed here. Next slide, please. What are some of these? Are just a few terms of the language of finance. Cash flow, I mentioned. You need to understand your break-even point. Basically, is how much you need to sell to cover your expenses. Obviously, expenses should never exceed your income. So you need to understand what that is. Next slide, please.
1 more minute, Al.
Got it. Okay, so I'm at slide 86. So you see, I really ran through this. These are some additional terms. Next slide, please. Why don't we go all the way to the back? The last one, please. This is a way for you to contact us. I put my name, contact information. I would encourage you, if you're interested in us helping you, please go to our website, which is gneccorp.org. On the upper right-hand side, you're going to see a tab that's called Get Started. That'll bring you up a questionnaire. You fill that out. Once you submit it, I will get it, and also our lending team will get it. And we will go back to you and to see what your interests are. And if it's technical assistance, I'll be glad to help you. We have a great partnership with a nonprofit, another nonprofit located in Newark. So we can help you in any way that you may need. Okay, I'd like to thank you. Kate, how did I do time-wise?
You did okay. You went over, but that's okay.
By the way, Kate, you and I got to talk, right? We got to.
Yep. Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Thank you, Al. We're going to go right into our next speaker. This is Omar Buendia, a loan officer with RBAC, which is the Regional Business Assistance Corp. Omar, thank you very much for presenting.
Thank you. Thank you. Good afternoon, everybody. And thank you to the SBDC and the LGBT Chamber of Commerce for having us here and allowing us to be a part of this today. My name is Omar, and I work with the Regional Business Assistance Corporation. We are a CDFI, much like our other panelists on this presentation today. And I will be walking you through what we offer and what we can offer you as a new applicant to us. So this slide here just kind of talks a little bit about what a CDFI does. It's a community development financial institution. So essentially our focus here is community development. Some banks, have a certain criteria that they are looking for, and sometimes like startups or businesses that may have had some issues in the past don't necessarily fit in that box. We are kind of that last line of defense to take a look at the case and see if there's something that we can offer you as far as a good term loan with a relatively low interest rate to help your business grow and not put you so much with the high interest rate lenders that can really dig you in a hole in the long term. Next slide, please. So what makes RBAC a CDFI? RBAC fulfills its role as a CDFI by partnering with banks to offer SBA loan programs to small businesses when conventional loan programs are not available. So back to that same point, we partner with banks to be able to have the funds to provide loans to people who, may necessarily not qualify for the traditional financing. So our goal is to try to help out startups or businesses who just for some reason or another did not fit in that box and just maybe need a second look through. Next slide, please. So we've been around for 35 years plus. We're based in New Jersey, in Trenton specifically. We're CDFI and CDC. Basically, we're community development and community first. We're #1 SBA 504 lender and community advantage lender for the last 4 years in a row in the state of New Jersey. We've done a ton of these. We've helped out a lot of people. So we really know kind of how to look at the case and see, because it's with this lending, it's more of a case by case basis. So we like to take a look at everybody and see, if there is really any way that we can help. And if we can't, what assistance you may need, technical assistance you may need, or advice that you may need to help you get on that right track. So we financed over 2,000 loans totaling over 300 million, and we offer 3 main loan products ranging sizes from 1,000 upwards to 5.5 million, and I'll be talking about those today. Next slide, please. Okay, so right off the bat, the first loan that we offer is the SBA micro loan program. That one goes up to $50,000. It goes for a term up to 6 years, and it's a fixed rate between 6 to 8%. This is available to both existing and startup businesses. It's only available for any businesses in New Jersey. Unfortunately, we can only offer it in New Jersey at this time, but we can offer it for anything from working capital to inventory, equipment, marketing, renovations that you need to your place, and a large range of different loan products, different loan proceeds. The only thing that we can't offer is business purchases. We cannot help you purchase any commercial property with this microloan program. It's strictly only for small business uses as inventory, equipment, marketing, working capital, construction, minor renovations to your location. And that's what we do here with the microloan program. Next slide, please. The Community Advantage program is a little bit similar. It's offered to startups and existing businesses. This one's available in New Jersey, New York, and Eastern PA. And this one is not a fixed interest rate. It's a variable interest rate that starts at 2 points on prime. Prime is the Wall Street Journal prime rate, which is currently at 3.25%. So we start at 2 points on top of that. So we go from 5.25 and we can go upwards to 8.25, where we cap at the 8.25 mark, which is 5 points on prime. We do not go higher than 5 points on prime. The terms can be up to 25 years, but for this product, because we go up to $250,000, this product allows us to help you purchase commercial real estate properties for your business. Keep in mind, it has to be a minimum 51% occupied by the business for a business purpose. This does not include an investment property. It does not include a fix or flip. This is strictly to help a small business buy a commercial property that they can operate out of at least a minimum of 51%. And if they have, let's say it's a pizza shop with an apartment building on the top, they can rent out that apartment because that's below that 51% minimum. So the pizza shop at that point in that scenario would fit that building at least 51% or more. So that is something to keep in mind. But only in the commercial real estate space do we offer a term up to 25 years. Typically, if it's somebody looking for working capital, equipment, inventory, marketing, we'll typically go no further than 10 years on that. We like to keep it 10 years and less, because if it's 10 years or less, there's no prepayment penalties. We can go up to 15 years on that, but typically we like to keep it in that 10-year space. And that pretty much sums it up for the community managed program. Next slide, please. So what qualifies you for a microloan or a community managed program? Number one, you must be a for-profit business. I've had a lot of people come to me with nonprofits attempting to get a microloan or community managed loan. The SBA does not allow us to fund any nonprofit businesses, aside from childcare, but let's just stick to making it all for-profit because that can get very muddy. Only businesses located in New Jersey, New York, and Eastern PA. Anybody outside of those, the tri-state area, we cannot assist. And businesses are guarantors with a minimum of 10% to inject into the project. Now, all business owners who come to us to the table must inject a minimum of 10% into the project to show a little bit of skin in the game, that they're committed to this, that they're a part of this business process, and they're looking to also invest some of their money to help the business grow. So we require the minimum of at least 10%. And then they must be able to demonstrate a business purpose for the loan proceeds. So this one here, the best way I can say to you is, as an SBA lender, when we deal with the SBA, we must prove everything that we're saying we're doing with the loan. So if you're telling us you're buying equipment, we're going to need the vendor quotes for that equipment. We're going to need a receipt, and we would cut the check directly to that vendor. If you're looking for marketing, we want to see a marketing plan. If you're using Facebook, we want to see how they're going to help you, what the rates they're going to charge you for that. We're going to need proof of that. If you're going to do construction, we're going to need a contractor's estimate when we would pay that contractor directly. Inventory, the same way. If you're trying to buy inventory from any vendors, we would need receipts or a bill of sale or an invoice. So anything to prove that, we have to get record of that, because when the SBA comes knocking on our door, we can say, here is the proof for the funds that we dispersed to this borrower. Okay. Business cannot be delinquent on any existing debt obligations to the U.S. government at all. This includes taxes, student loans, or child support. Now, this actually can go into credit as well. Now, we don't have a minimum FICO score requirement for anybody, but you cannot be delinquent on anything in your credit report at all. So if you have had any lates in the past, but you brought everything current, we can take a look at your case. If you had some charge-offs in the past, but you paid those up and now you're clean, and that still shows on your credit report, so your credit score is not as high as it should be because of those blemishes, but we see that you've paid it, and now we see that you're on the right track, we can take a look at the case. We cannot help you if there's any outstanding lates, past dues, charge-offs on your credit report. If you owe any taxes in your business, we cannot assist you. If you owe the U.S. government and student loans, we cannot assist you. If your student loans are past due, charged off or anything like that, we cannot help. And if you're late on child support, we cannot assist either. So please make sure you're current in all your debts, and you've tried to make that effort to not bring up your credit score, but fix the issues that have brought the credit score down prior to coming to apply to us. Okay, next slide, please. So finally, I'll talk about the SBA 504 loan. This is a commercial real estate purchase program only. It's used for helping a small business buy a property that they will occupy for a minimum of 51%. Okay, and the business owner comes in with only 10% to buy the property. And the way we do that is a participation loan. Okay, the way it's structured is a business owner comes to buy a property, they put 10% down, RBAC does 40%, and we partner with a bank to do the other 50%. The bank will take first lien position on your property, and we will take second lien behind the bank. Okay, so essentially it is two loans, but it allows you to be able to obtain a commercial property that you can use for your business at a 90% LTV. So that's really nice for a lot of people, because most commercial property purchases are upwards of 30% minimum down payment from the business owner. So that is a nice plus for them. Our portion, the 40%, is fixed for the life of the loan, which can be up to 25 years. Okay, but what we do is we base it off U.S. Treasury rate. So at 30 days after you close your loan, we determine what the U.S. Treasury rate is at the time. It's usually very low. Right now, it's below 2%. So it is really, really low. But once we clock in that treasury rate for you, it's fixed for the entire life of the loan. And at the bottom, like I said, we offer it up for 25 years, 20 or 10 years. It depends on the project at that point. Next slide, please. So the advantages of the 504 loan, like I said before, the lower down payment, the 10% injection, it's really nice. The only time it's a 15% injection is if it's a startup business or if it's a hotel, motel, bed and breakfast type of deal. That would also require a 15% injection. It's a fixed interest rate on the second mortgage loan, which is really nice. If you do decide you want to move and you can, you still have that 504 loan, you can actually sell that loan to the person that's purchasing the property from you, and they can buy that loan from you at that interest rate. That interest rate is transferable. It's a long-term financing, so the banks usually do 10 to 20 years on this. We can go up to 25 years, and we usually do to give you that long-term low monthly payment. You can, grow and grow the equity and not have to pay something at a much lower term. So our rate of private sector financing is usually more favorable. We have a lower LTV than a lot of other people do, and that's again due to the lower down payment. And it's an alternative solution for borderline credit situations. So in this case, like I said before, we really work with a range of people. We do not have a minimum FICO requirement, but again, everything must be paid off, taken care of, brought current prior to you coming to apply with us. Okay. That's for all of our loan products. Next slide, please.
1 more minute, Omar.
Okay, so this is eligible cost for that. It's just basically purchasing land. There says you can do construction, you can do remodeling. The machinery equipment is only for like heavy like MRI machines or like the heavy construction equipments. You can also include appraisals and environmentals in that. Next slide, please. And we can do refinancing as well. That's our contact information. And you can feel free to reach out to me at that. I'll leave my information here on the chat. It'll be at omar@rbacloan.com. So it's going to be my name and like you see it right there. Instead of info@rbacloan.com, it would be omar@rbacloan.com. You can feel free to reach me out at that email, and I'll put my phone number in the chat as well, so you guys can reach out to me there anytime you'd like. Okay. That's pretty much it, and I hope it was informative, and I'll be around for the Q&A. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Omar. It was very informative. Next is Walter Price, Community Development Loan Officer with New Jersey Community Capital.
Thank you for the introduction, Kate. I'm honored to be here representing New Jersey Community Capital. I've been working with this organization as a loan officer since June of last year, so I really appreciate all the information being provided by everyone on this panel. I'll spend some time giving a brief overview of who we are, and then we can go over 2 recent small business products available to eligible borrowers. Next slide, please. So New Jersey Capital is a community development financial institution, similar to what Al from Greater Newark and Omar of RBAC discussed. We have a mission to create thriving communities through strategic investments and knowledge. As a CDFI, you can think of us as a nonprofit bank. CDFIs are primarily banks, credit unions, or funds that focus on serving people in low-income communities that have historically been locked out of financial system. We're a nonprofit organization certified by the Department of Treasury, and we have been around since 1987, providing loans for community development projects throughout the state of New Jersey. Next slide, please. So we focus on lending for affordable housing, charter schools for early education, community facilities, and other economic development projects. We do a lot of loans to nonprofit organizations as well as mission-based for-profits. So like for a for-profit that focuses on affordable housing in low-income and underserved communities. In addition to lending, we have several other lines of businesses. We have a real estate development subsidiary called CAPC, who is a nonprofit real estate developer that owns 600 housing units in New Jersey and some in Florida. We have a community strategy department that does consulting around neighborhood plans for nonprofit organizations, as well as plans for municipalities. We also have a program that focuses on bulk purchases of default mortgages, modifying those mortgages and trying to keep people in their homes. So we're mostly a real estate lender with loans that can range from $100,000 for a 2-family property up to 12 million for a large real estate development project. So we do everything from acquisition, construction, mini permanent financing for eligible projects. Next slide, please. So as far as our financing products, as I previously stated, we're mostly a real estate lender, although we also do some small business financing. As a result of the pandemic and as a result of some strategic partnerships, we've been introducing some small business financing initiatives. The first of which is our most recent collaboration with the African American Chamber of Commerce. New Jersey Community Capital and the African American Chamber of Commerce of New Jersey have formed a strategic partnership driven by shared values and a commitment to supporting the sustaining small Black-owned businesses situated throughout the state of New Jersey. Together, we're connecting minority businesses in New Jersey to capital through the Equitable Small Business Initiative, or ESBI for short. ESBI provides essential financing and pandemic relief loans to help address the emergent financial needs of minority-owned small businesses. Borrowers are also eligible to receive high-touch, individualized technical assistance, capacity building, and administrative support through this initiative. For more information on this initiative, please reach out to Dina Gonzalez at the African American Chamber of Commerce at the email address at the bottom of this presentation. Next slide, please. So the COVID-19 pandemic and the economic shutdown required our institution to pivot its work to assisting suffering small businesses. We looked at the businesses and the environment, and we started to consider all small businesses as nonprofits in the state as underserved, and we started the Garden State Relief Fund, and that's GSRF as a remedy. The Garden State Relief Fund focuses specifically on COVID relief. The product offers low interest loans, typically working capital loans, to small businesses and nonprofits negatively impacted by the COVID-19 pandemic. Some of the highlights of the products are listed on the screen. And I'm happy to report that Garden State Relief Fund, we've received over 600 applications.
That's right, today's the 17th, correct? Yeah.
Approximately $6 million, with most being in the food industry, childcare centers, and early education centers. Next slide, please. I'll conclude with stating that NJCC has a mission to make New Jersey a great place to live for all its residents. In my short time with the company and within the CDFI world, I've witnessed an inclusive approach to lending that I honestly did not know existed. Conversations are focused on inclusion and helping underserved communities, and I'm extremely happy to be part of those conversations. Thank you for your time. I'll put my information in the chat room if anyone wants to reach out to me. Thank you, Kate.
Thank you, Walter. I appreciate that very much. I will take the moment, Joe, before I introduce you. There's a Barbara Ann here, and Barbara Ann is representing SBAC, but she says that she only covers the bottom half of the state. So she's offering that up if anybody needs assistance in the Burlington County area, that we could reach out to them also. So thank you, Barbara Ann. And now Joe Lamberti, Union County Economic Development or UCEDC for the rest of the state that's not Union County.
United Counties Economic Development Corp. Yes, we're statewide. Well, thank you very much. I guess I'm the only thing standing between all of you and the rest of your day for lunch or that bathroom break that you keep putting off. So I'm going to keep it brief. You've heard an awful lot from some tremendous resources, and these are resources that we certainly encourage you to take advantage. There are some overlapping services, and I'll tell you a little bit about what UCEDC does and what you can expect from us. So thank you, LGBT Chamber. Thank you, SBDC, for having us here. My name is Joe Lamberti. I'm the director of our small business training team at UCEDC. And on the next slide, we'll give you some introduction points. This is the homepage of our website, actually an old image, but we, if I was able to share a screen, I'd show you the website live, because a couple of quick points there. So I'm gonna point that out to you now in terms of navigation. You can see across the bottom there, these are the three main services that I'm going to briefly introduce you to today. So we're all about, as you can see, behind me in a phrase, resources and solutions for small businesses. So we actually focus on probably what's considered the smaller end of the small business category. And so a lot of moms and pops and independent businesses and startups and early stage businesses that we help throughout the state. We started over 40 years ago. And yes, the name was originally Union County Economic Development Corp, because that's where we started. We've got an office in Cranford, New Jersey, and we quickly expanded and cover the entire state. In fact, parts of Metro New York and Metro Philadelphia as well. So we kind of use the same letters, and now United Counties Economic Development Corp. So we're covering the entire state. We've got an office in South Jersey as well, in the middle of Burlington County, and downtown historic Mount Holly, the county seat for Burlington County. And so across the bottom, you can see on our website those three main services: our small business lending, our training and technical assistance, and our assistance with government contracting. On the blue bar at the top, just under the logo there, if you drop down any one of those tabs, you can learn a lot more about each. All the loans that we do, the training and special programs that I'll touch on in just a moment, our government contracting, and then there's some helpful links there for business tools and client stories as well. So on the next subsequent slides, I'll break down each of those main services. Our lending service is, as you've heard a number of people mentioning already, and have well-defined many of these loan products. You heard from Claudia, SBA, and Omar at RBAC. So you've got a definition of these terms, I think, already. But as a CDFI, or Community Development Financial Institution, we are focused on underprivileged populations, underprivileged communities, and lending, as I said, to lots of startups and early stage businesses that most banks, they're just not a fit for that. So yes, we're an SBA lender, and the three main products that we do is the micro lending, which is a really big part of what we do. We do a lot of loans that are not only under $50,000, but a lot of them, $10,000 or $15,000. We did a number of rounds of COVID relief type loans throughout the past year. We're set up to do another round as well. And we actually have a couple of subsets of microloans, some very special loan products that you'll see on our website, a prime lock and a rapid response loan, and something specially designated for women business owners, a Tory Burch supported loan program that enables us to bring the going rate down another 2 points. The additional products, you've heard a little bit about the SBA Community Advantage 7A. We do that. That's for lending up to $250,000. And of course, the 504 loan program, which is essentially commercial real estate, major equipment loans. We can get into the millions here. And this is where you've already heard described. We take a secondary position, a bank or another major lender will take 50% of the project, we'll loan 40%, and then of course the borrower is putting in 10% or more in that program. On the technical assistance or training, as I mentioned, I'm the director of this team, so this is my sweet spot, and we do training throughout the state. Of course, pre-pandemic, we were doing that on site in every corner of New Jersey, north and south and east and west. We've done a lot more. Of course, all of our trainings, since last March has been via Zoom. And that's actually enabled us to reach a lot more people. We probably do well over 100 workshops a year now, and probably to about 2,500 attendees. So most of these workshops are free workshops on every business topic, from the basics of starting a business in New Jersey to writing a business plan, and a whole marketing series and a whole financial series in QuickBooks as well. So check out our training tab and see what upcoming training workshops are of interest to you, that are convenient to you. And of course, as we're still doing these via Zoom, anybody from anywhere can log in and get the free programs. So we do full entrepreneurship training courses as well. A 7-week course and take you from A to Z in building the foundation for a business, and a big focus on writing a business plan there. And then of course there's the business counseling, the one-on-one counseling that goes along with that. We also, I should have mentioned, under the lending area, we provide one-on-one counseling for the life of the loan. For all our loan clients, they receive one-on-one counseling for the life of their loan. We do that as well for our participants of our workshop series, the entrepreneurship training course, which is the one thing that we charge for. But in many instances, even that is free, depending on who we're partnered with. So we're funded by a number of sources: SBA, New Jersey EDA. We've got individual contracts with various counties and municipalities. So we're able to do this in some cases for free. Sometimes it's a charge, but most of our workshops are, individual workshops are definitely no charge. There's two very special programs, the last couple of bullet points on this slide, that I want to touch on, because our virtual incubator program is, as the term sounds, we are helping diverse business owners. So we take participants who are in underprivileged populations and communities. So African American and Hispanic, LGBTQ, veterans, you name it, and folks that have particularly had a hard time getting the business off the ground, or recovering from the economic crisis as well. And this is not only a workshop series, we call a business survival series, but it's a full counseling mentoring program that culminates with a forgivable loan. So it's it's a real focus on helping that business build a strong foundation for success or rebound, and also a small injection of capital as well. And we continue that ongoing counseling for the life of that forgivable loan, which, for the bullet point above that, entrepreneurship as a second chance, is very similar, but here the focus group is for reentry. So, formerly incarcerated individuals who are serious about starting a business as an alternative to a job in the traditional workforce. Here again, we're providing, a full entrepreneurship course, a 7-week course, and all the, the assistance and counseling, nurturing of that business to get it off the ground and build a foundation for success. So if anybody knows people in each of these special communities and populations, this is statewide in both of those instances, please let us know, because we're filling seats for both of these programs. The virtual incubator next round starts in August, and the next round of the entrepreneurship as a second chance for reentry citizens starts in October. And on the next slide is the third main service that we provide. We're what's known as a PTAC, a Procurement Technical Assistance Center. And here, this is focused in terms of providing the direct assistance to Union County businesses. But we assist businesses throughout the state because we've got regular workshops on, the basics of doing business with the government, workshops and seminars that people from all around the state and outside the state, even outside the country, log into and get that training. In addition to that, there are specialized workshops where we'll have a guest speaker from a particular segment of government that is giving you tips on how to do business with that, say, Department of Transportation, for example, something like that. So you can see in the bullet points here that we assist with all the aspects of doing business with the government, making sure that you're on the SAM system and the bid match stuff and so forth, that you're doing all that right and getting your share of what you want to bid on. So on the next slide, with just a reminder of our contact information. And from what I understand, the slides will be provided to everybody. Next slide, please, is a wrap up for contacting us at UCEDC. So our VP of Lending is Liz Williams, and her contact information is there. Again, my name, Joe Lamberti. I'm the director of our training and technical assistance. And the PTAC Center is Marianne Williams. She's the director there, and you've got her email address there. Remember to follow us, please, on social media. We're on LinkedIn, we're on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Of course, our website is ucedc.com. And we hope you take advantage of our services. I can take any, I'll be available for Q&A. And of course, write to me with any questions or concerns. And we are hiring. We're hiring an additional training officer for North Jersey. If anyone knows of somebody qualified, please let me know. We're expanding our training and our lending teams. We keep growing and looking for good people to support what we do. So thank you very much for your time. Anthony, great job putting this panel together, and I'll see you down the road. Thanks.
Thank you, Joe. Well, I think everybody would agree we have a wealth of information that was shared. And for those that are still on the line, are there any questions for any of the speakers? I know we've hit the 2 o'clock button.
I got in under 2.
Yes. Okay, so Kanika wrote, I don't have questions, but just wanted to say thank you for all such insightful information. I'm blown away by all the resources available for small business entrepreneurs in New Jersey. Suddenly it's not so daunting.
Yeah.
Appreciate everyone giving their time. Thank you. That is the entire point of this program, letting you know you're not alone. And there are resources all over the state in various capacities. And if you got to any one of us and you needed another, we work together and we're happy to refer to the right people. But Kanika, that's exactly why we did this. So thank you for those comments.
I just want to thank all the panelists for participating today. Thanks again. I'll be bugging you again soon.
Yeah.
My pleasure. This was great. Thank you, Anthony.
All right. If there are no other questions, want to thank everyone for their time today. This webinar has been recorded, so we'll post it onto YouTube. So if you need to go back to anything, it can be there. And you can also find the PowerPoint slides as well. If you want to click through any of the contact information from any of our panelists, you can find it there as well. But thank you all again for coming today, and we appreciate your time. We'll see you soon.
Thank you. Bye, everybody.
See you, my friends.
Thank you.
See you, all my friends.